This is it. Just got done watching the Detroit Lions beat the Kansas City Chiefs 21-20. I'm hyped. Let's talk about the Miami Dolphins heading to LA to take on them Chargers. What is up, Finn fans? The time is now. First legit preview video of the season. How are you guys feeling? Who's pumped up just like me? If you're new to the channel, first off, thank you so much for hitting that subscribe button. You're amazing. The way I do my previews, we talk about the injury report. We talk about the breakdown. I look at their team versus our team, offense and defense. Then we go through the 5 things, in my opinion, that the Dolphins need to do if they want to beat said team, this week being the Chargers. And then I give you my prediction. I got all these things I talk about, and then I tell you who I think is going to win. And then I see you on Sunday for the game. But before we jump into that, I do have to shout out today's sponsor, and it is a new sponsor, and it is a sponsor I'm very happy that they decided to sponsor me, and that is Pristine Auction. Let's jump to previous Doug to give you an example and talk about what Pristine Auction is. Thank you to Pristine Auctions for sponsoring today's video. If you don't know about Pristine Auctions, they are the most trusted sports memorabilia and collectibles auction site. Auctions at Pristine Auctions start at just $1. Each day there are over 1,000 autographed items available, so you win authentic signatures at affordable prices. Affordable deals are happening all the time on Pristine Auction, and they just about every player you can want, from NFL, NBA, NHL, any sport you can think of. They have them from old school to new school. They got you. Every item at Pristine Auction comes with a certificate of authenticity from the industry's most reliable authenticators. Upgrade your collection of signed memorabilia today and get $10 off your first item one when you use the promo code DDW. So be sure to sign up now because there are deals every day. Again, that is promo code DDW to get yourself $10 off your first purchase. And again, Pristine Auction, thank you so much for sponsoring this video. Seriously though, guys, love Pristine Auction. If you want to get some really good autographed, sports memorabilia, cards, all that good stuff, check out Pristine Auction. They do some really great stuff over there. So now let's jump into this, and we're going to look at the injury report. And we're going to start with the Chargers, because look how small that is. It should be that small because it's flip-flapping in the flim-flam week 1. They got 2 guys. Linebacker Damian Henley, he's got a hamstring, he didn't practice, probably won't play. And then Chris Rump, the second, same, hamstring, limited, didn't practice Thursday, which is today for me. You might be like, hey, Doug, it's Friday. We'll know more about that later on, and I will let you guys know about that. But that's all they got. And then if we flip it to the flip-flapping Dolphins, it's week 1. It's week 1. Now I will say this. If you want honesty, this is what the injury report looks like, in all honesty. Because the ones that I got rid of, Devon Achane, full practice Wednesday and Thursday. Savon Ahmed, full practice Wednesday, Thursday. Raekwon Davis, full practice Wednesday, Thursday. Aaliyah Meikenberg, full practice Wednesday, Thursday. Brandon Jones, full practice Wednesday, Thursday. Jalen Waddle, limited, full practice yesterday for you guys. Connor Williams, full practice. That's it. So this right here is what's important, because you have Teron Armstead didn't practice for 2 days. You have Elijah Campbell didn't practice for 2 days. Justin Bethel's limited for 2 days, and tight end Julian Hill has limited for 2 days. The only one on here that we are worrying about is Teron Armstead. Is he going to play on Sunday? The fact that he hasn't practiced really isn't anything to worry about, because he never practiced anyway during the season. But I'm leaning towards he's probably not going to play on Sunday. And if that's the case, Kendall Lamb is probably your starting left tackle. And I will bet a lot of money that they do not trot out Liam Eichenberg. I think Liam Eichenberg was on the depth chart just because they haven't decided who the starter is yet, so they just put it however way. But no, I do not think that Liam Eichenberg is going to be your starter, and I do think it's going to be Isaiah Wynn, especially if Teron Armstead's not out there. You might be asking yourself, hey, Doug, why didn't you go over the depth chart? Because there's nothing surprising on there. Like Braxton Berrios was wide receiver number 2 or 3. Craig Kraft as well. They're the backups. Nothing on there is really that surprising from what they did. You know, the Liam Eichenberg thing kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because why would you even put that out there? But I will be shocked if he starts. Absolutely shocked. Now we're going to go into the breakdown. And the breakdown looks a little something like this. So on PFF, you can put your opponent, and you can see how they match up. So right now we're looking at the Miami Dolphins offense versus their defense. Now, looking at their defense, Davis, Samuel Jr., doing good. J.C. Jackson, we'll see how he bounces back from being injured. You got Kendricks, Murray Jr., Gilman, James Jr., Derwin James, great. Khalil Mack, great. Bosa, great. In the middle, you got Fox, Joseph Day. They're all right. Flip it around on the Dolphins offense. Tyreek Hill, number 1 in PFF. Waddle, number 13. Braxton Berrios, he's going to be fantastic, and they'll obviously incorporate Cedric Wilson Jr. and Craig Kraft, all that stuff. Tua, 8th ranked in PFF out of 39. Raheem Mostert back there, he is 26th ranked. You have Jackson, needs to step up, like desperately needs to step up. But I will say this. I remember when we faced the Browns, I think it was, and he actually did a pretty, was that him? Or was they, Juwan James? I think that was Juwan James, where he did really well against Khalil Mack. Or was that Austin Jackson? Well, he's going to be going up against Khalil Mack, so he needs to do well. Like I said, it's probably going to be Kendall Lamb on the other side. He's going up against Bosa. It won't, I swear, if it's Eichenberg and not Isaiah Wynn, that'll really have me questioning the coaching staff. And then you have Connor Williams and Hunt as your center right guard. I think we stack up well against their interior defensive line. Their exterior, Bosa and Khalil Mack, is going to be interesting. I think our wide receivers, compete very well against them. Durham Smythe, he's, going to be possession down, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 4 type of situation. You have him on an out or a crossing route, you just dump the ball off to him. But I think we do stack up well offensively versus them defensively. Now, if we flip it, this is how their offense stacks up against our defense. Now, Williams, Allen, elite. Even though people don't give them the credit that's due, elite. Justin Herbert, elite. Eckler wants his money, but he's still up there and very good. Their offensive line, besides Slater, is meh, right? Our defensive line, especially if Bradley Chubb can get into the way he used to be playing, is very good. Christian Wilkins, Sealer, Phillips, Bradley Chubb, a very good pass rush, especially with the depth. You look at David Long Jr., Baker, very good linebackers. Unfortunately, we had got to trot out Eli Apple, but I'm not as worried about that because he's a vet and he knows what he's doing. Kader Kohu, 3rd ranked coverage corner last year in the slot. Xavier Howard, I expect a bounce back year from him. Again, Everett, he's probably going to go up against Jerome Baker. And then you have Javon Holland and Elliott. Javon Holland, I think, is going to do great things in Vic Fangio's defense. But again, the way our defense stacks up against their offense, I think, again, it's very evenly matched. I think they got some really good receivers. They got a really good quarterback and running game. We were 4th in the NFL last year in run stopping, so that's another importance here. It'll really come down to getting after Herbert. I'm getting ahead of myself and really not allowing him to have his receivers have all day to run their routes. It's about getting pressure, all that stuff. But I think the Miami Dolphins and the Chargers, on paper, I think, are pretty evenly matched. Let's get into my 5 things the Miami Dolphins need to do if they are going to beat this Chargers team. Now, I've said this time and time again, it's in no specific order. It's not like, ooh, this is the most important to this is the least important. It's just as I'm researching the opponent, these are the things that have popped out to me that I'm like, ooh, they need to focus on it. So let's jump into this. And the number 1 thing on here is you need to stop the yak. And you might be like, what? Really? You got to stop the yak? First off, what is yak? It's yards after catch. So essentially, if Tua, Herbert, Mahomes, any quarterback throws a pass and it's 5 yards, but then it's an 80-yard touchdown, they get credited for an 85-yard touchdown pass, but there's 80 yards of yak. This isn't hate. These are facts. So don't get all up in your feelings. But the Chargers are very good at yak. And since Justin Herbert joined the NFL in 2020, the Chargers were second in the NFL in yak. 2021, they were fifth in the NFL in yak. And in 2022, they were second in the NFL in yak. Justin Herbert is a smart, good quarterback. He is going to use the strength of his team. It doesn't matter if he's throwing a 50-yard bomb or if he's throwing a 5-yard pass. I'm just trying to make a video. And Eckler or Allen or any, it's mostly Eckler, if I'm being 100% honest with you. Eckler is the yak, fountain of youth over there. But they get him the yards he needs. You're on the 20-yard line, you dump the ball off to Everett or Allen or Eckler. They take it in. You got to make the tackles, you got to secure the tackles, and you got to stop the yak. Because over the past 3 years, the Chargers have lived off of yards after catch. I gave you facts. Second, fifth, and second over the past 3 years. They live off the yak. You need to wrap them up, tackle them, and stop the yards after catch. Number 2 thing on here that the Dolphins need to do if they want to beat the Chargers is a very easy, one. But you got to excuse me. You got to get his whole name in there. You got to pressure Justin Herbert. Now, that's a one. But if you look at it, when he is blitzed, he has a PFF grade of 64.5, which is 21st in the NFL. When he is not blitzed or pressured, he has a PFF grade of 81.1, which is 5th in the NFL. So if you don't get pressure on him and you're not blitzing him, he's going to torch you. But if you're getting pressure on him and you're blitzing him and you're getting in his face, regardless if you make the hit, the sack, or anything, you make him uncomfortable, he's going to struggle. Now, there are quarterbacks in the NFL that kind of thrive in those situations. I was just watching Patrick Mahomes throwing crazy darts while getting hit. Unfortunately, his receivers were dropping everything that was flying at him. But there are quarterbacks who thrive in it, and there are some that don't. Like Tom Brady. You start hitting Tom Brady and knocking him to the ground, it kind of takes him out of it. Justin Herbert, you got to get in his face. You got to pressure him. We need Phillips, Chubb, Andrew Van Ginkel, Jerome Baker, maybe blitzes from Javon Holland. We need to get in the backfield. We need to get in his face, and we cannot allow his receivers to have time to get open. Play press, whatever you need to do, but don't allow Justin Herbert all day back there. The number 3 thing that the Miami Dolphins need to do if they want to beat this Chargers team, and Mike McDaniel promised, you got to run the ball. You got to run the ball. Raheem Mostert, there were so many games where he was going off. He was he was almost on pace for almost 200 yards against Buffalo. They stopped running in the second half. The Jets game, he was run. They stopped running and tried to put it in the hands of Skylar Thompson. Stick to what you said you're going to do. Run the ball. You got Devon A-Chain back there. You got Savon Ahmed. And you got Raheem Mostert. Those are good, fast running backs. Put the ball in their hands. Let them run. Let these guys, especially with Isaiah Wynn at left guard, I saw him create very good lanes. Him and Lamb, I think it was against the Texans, we were running all over them. So run the ball. Say what you were going to do and stick with. Now, I'm not saying run the ball 70% of the time and throw 30%. That would be dumb. You have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle on your team. But run it. Run it. If it's working, don't stop doing it. And obviously throw some play action in there because they're expecting the run. But run it. Now, I'm going to get to more about that when I get to my prediction because I have some things I'm going to talk about. Then the number 4 thing the Dolphins need to do, we need elite Tua. Let me make this a little bit bigger to really drive it home. We need elite Tua. Oh, Doug, there's no elite Tua. Elite Tua sucks, and he's horrible, and Goodbye, irrational person. Goodbye. We need elite Tua. What is elite Tua? Ravens game, elite Tua. Bills game, you could say whatever you want. That pass on 3rd and 22 to get us in range to score, to take the lead, elite Tua, elite pass. The Bears game, the Lions game, the Browns game. I don't care what the opponent is. It's the NFL. And that man was carving up those teams. Elite Tua. That's the Tua we need. We don't need the 49ers game Tua. We don't need the Chargers game Tua. We don't need the second half of the Packers game Tua, regardless if he was concussed or not. We don't need those Tuas. We need elite Tua. I've said this before in his expectation video. He wants that contract. We need the elite Tua for 17 games, minimum 15. Obviously, in the NFL, you're not going to play elite the whole season, but we need elite Tua Sunday. And the fifth and final thing on the list, I'm making this one big too because this is incredibly important. We need smart play. And again, you're like, duh. What do you want us to go out there and play stupid? I don't want it to happen, but it happens. Look at the preseason game. The snaps above the head, the penalties, the false starts. Look at last season. Got to show that this is a different team. This is a different Miami Dolphins. Mike McDaniel needs to show in his second year that he has grown and learned from his rookie mistakes when it comes to clock management, challenges, play call, all of these things. Penalties, gotta play smart. Look at the Vikings game where we could have scored so many times, but penalties, illegal man downfield, illegal contact, offensive pass interference, push him back, just kills drives. Smart play. Don't turn the ball over. Stop committing so many penalties and play smart football. That's all you need to do. Like I said, these teams are very evenly matched. So if you play smart football and you don't put yourself in negative situations and you don't put yourself in stupid situations with turnovers and all that stuff, you'll win this game because it's a very evenly matched game. With that being said, time for my predictions. Now, Miami Dolphins are facing the Chargers. Had a bad outing last year. 2020, the Dolphins got the better of it, got in a rookie quarterback's head, literally forced the Chargers to run the ball every down because he was getting confused by the defense of the Dolphins and Brian Flores were throwing at him. 1-1 against Herbert. What do we do here? There's a big difference, right? A lot of people are poo-pooing Vic Fangio. A lot of people are saying, oh, he thought he was supposed to be our savior. Look at what he did in the preseason. We're going to suck. And to those people, I say it's preseason. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath in. Because you saw nothing of what Vic Fangio has planned for any of the 17 opponents we're going to be facing. Not an iota of anything. He was playing vanilla, 5-yard off, soft zone coverage all game. Preseason is about learning who's going to make the team and who can do what in what situation. Stop overreacting to preseason. But that being said, the man also, for a whole year, was sitting back watching, waiting, doing research. This is a situation where if we get into a little trouble, where all of a sudden Stanley, say his name enough and it starts to sound weird, is messing with our offense, Fangio can just click in to Mike McDaniel. Look, they're running this. I know exactly how to stop that. You're just going to want to do this, and that. And you can get away from that. That's the difference between having Vic Fangio in the headset and Josh Boyer. Because Josh Boyer was like, it's 3rd and goal and they're on their own 15. Drop everyone back to the goal line. And worst case scenario, they kick a field goal. He did that in that game. He did that. That's a play call he called. Versus Vic Fangio, I've run this. He's running my style of defense. I know how to stop that. Or I know how to beat that. Just do this. Run this play in our playbook. You're going to get it. That's what is going to be so great about this. Vic Fangio is in the ear of Mike McDaniel. He's going to help him. On top of that, Ronaldo Hill literally took a demotion to come coach with Vic Fangio. Where was Ronaldo Hill last year? With the LA Chargers. They didn't fire him. If he didn't want to come play with coach with Vic Fangio, he'd still be with the Chargers. He said, I'm leaving. I'm resigning. Thank you guys so much. And then he went to Miami to be with the Chargers. I'm with the Dolphins. Look it up. He didn't get fired. He left. He took a demotion to go be under Vic Fangio. So there's another guy in our back pocket that knows, they're running this style. Do this. Oh, they're doing this, do that, right? Then there's also this. Chris Kaufman came out and said something very interesting, and it made me think. He said, I see it everywhere. The reason the Dolphins lost to the Chargers last year, crowding in the middle of the field, lack of commitment to the ground game, daring Tua to throw outside the numbers, etc. Nobody ever talks about it being Miami's second game in California in 8 days. But when you see Miami throw their best run formation against light boxes and the individual efforts by Charger defenders holding the Dolphins to 0, 1, and -3 yards, etc., on first down after first down after first down, despite their disadvantages, and then you see defensive backs who haven't made names for themselves in this league staying step for step with the likes of Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and knocking down ball after ball, maybe, just maybe, the Charger players came ready to play on their home field in prime time, and the Dolphins were low on gas. He also said, they're daring us to run the ball on first down in their light box, and we tried and failed. Our first down strategy gave us a dozen of second and long situations, which they treated like third and long because they knew our tendency. We ran the ball one time in those situations. They had a bead on our second and long playbook, and their players just played out of their heads. When you see guys in the secondary who have no names yet in the league staying step for step with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and knocking down passes that came ready to play. And we really didn't, which is also why we failed to run the ball successfully on first down, even though we often had the advantage. And he brings up a very great point. Like he said, go look at the starting defense for the Chargers in that game. And please tell me that those corners can shut down Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Regardless if they're jamming them at the line of scrimmage or anything, tell me those guys can shut them down. Also, look at who they had on the defensive line, because I'm pretty sure Bosa wasn't playing, and we couldn't run for squat against them. The Dolphins were gassed. They, like Chris said, they were not ready to play, and the Chargers were, and they took our lunch money. This team is different. This team going to LA is different. We got a different Tua this is my opinion. Again, take from it what you want. But this is different. I think with Vic Fangio coaching that defense, again, it's not going to be where it's going to be in the middle of the season, but it's better than with Boyer. With Fangio there, with Ronaldo Hill there, and with the commitment to hopefully run and be fresh, this is a different team. So in my opinion, when it comes to this game, I am picking the Miami Dolphins to win this one. I think Justin Herbert still does his thing, and I don't think it's a blowout, but I do think the Dolphins win 28-24. I think both teams allow a few touchdowns, but I think in the end, the Dolphins go up by 4, and the Dolphin defense stops the Chargers and ends up winning the game, starting 1-0. That's what I think. Those are my opinions. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. If you're a Chargers fan, who do you think? If you're a Chargers fan, what about the Dolphins worry you? And what about the Dolphins don't worry you? And I know you're probably going to say Tua, but seriously, take your bias cap off. What do you think you need to do to beat the Dolphins? And what's your score prediction? And for Dolphin fans, if I missed anything in the 5 things the Dolphins need to do, comment it below and give me your score prediction. But other than that, I will see you guys on Sunday. Game starts at 4:20. I'll be live at 4:05. And yes, my dad will be here. So I will see you guys on Sunday. Week 1, baby. I'm nervous. I want to win this game so bad. It is a Tua revenge game. He is coming to play. Whew, let's go. Fins up. I messed it up. I wanted to say fins up because I'm excited. But stay classy. And fins out.